Okay, is it recording on, Robin? Okay, sorry. Okay, so let me, just before we start, I'm going to talk. Can we just ask where you are studying? So if you can just hand up your hands up, or your, what is that called, reaction, what is that called, reaction button. If you're from Creative Arts Therapy Department, University of Melbourne, put your hands up, please. Okay. 1, 2. Ooh, the screen's changing. Okay. Figure. Okay. IDTIA. Thank you, guys. No one? Okay. Tensegrity. Okay. 2 people. All right, great. And Auckland, University of Auckland. Connor, yes. Dance and Arts Therapy New Zealand. No one? Okay. And Vietnam Dance Movement Therapy Group.
Oh, one raised their hand for the Dance Therapy New Zealand. Yeah.
All right. Ah, sorry. Okay. Didn't get it. Okay. Vietnam, from Vietnam. No one. Okay. And Taiwan. Yes, Taiwan Dance Therapy Group. Okay. All right. That's okay. Thank you, guys. So let me just put my screen up. All right. So I'm going to speak about the structure of the board, and also what committees we have, and then what we do in each committee, and also the importance of supervision. And then Connor is going to speak about DTAA registration, how you're going to get registered. And also Robin, in the end, is going to speak about student membership, and then also its benefits of becoming a member as a student. Okay. So if you are registered as a student member, and then you are able to access the Student Welcome Handbook, and this is the purpose of our seminar, and we, in sense, Workplace Development Committee, where I'm working for, has created this document with other members from the board, and also recommendations. And we have this handbook has actually 15 pages, and it actually gives a very good overview of this DTA history and why we are doing this, what missions we have, and who was the past president, and then how we work, and what's the structure of the governance. And then we also cover our relationships with the DMT training organizations, and also other allied health organizations such as PACFA, Anzakara, AMTA, Music Therapy Association, and AFRA. And also we cover the importance of clinical supervision, and what's student membership, what's the benefits of it, and these things, the details are explained in this handbook. And also in the end, the most, I think, important, and then most of us definitely need to know, what's the careers and what's the pathway to get a job actually as a therapist. And then in the end, also whom you can contact if you have more questions, and if you like to be part of the DTAA, and then there's details around that. Okay, so we have 2 structures, which are executive and then board. So the executive is consisted of president, who is Connor, and treasurer Robin, and vice president it's a vacant, and then past president, Sandra was the past president of 20, which year was it? 2022, no, I'm sorry, 20, oh God, 2019.
Yeah, 2020.
2021. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
but she's also part of the executive because she has to pass on her tasks and knowledge and everything to Connor. So she's part of the past president is also part of the executive, and the secretary and the president-elect, who is Tracy Nicholson. And the board, we have many committees. First and most, professional membership committee, which is headed by Sandra. And this is kind of the gateway to the DTA, because when you apply for membership, you're going through this committee, and then the committee members will kind of assess your application and read the letters from supervisors and etc. So this is one of the most active committees. And also we have finance committee, which is headed by Robin. And then workplace development committee, which is headed by me. And this committee, actually, we work, make a DTA visible in the social context and also political context, I must say. And then we have research committee. So you might have seen, research committee is always organizing guest speakers, and then you can really hear a lot of people's wisdom and experience in a seminar, normally it's Wednesday night. So for 1.5 hours or 2 hours. And then also we have publication committee, Jane Guthrie, and then gender diversity culture committee by Teresa, training providers committee, professional development committee, training education committee, ethics committee, which is also one of the important committees, and governance committee, and publication communication task force, which is headed by Anne Wei. So as you see, you can, as a student, you can be part of all the committees that are now on the screen that you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 committees. Only you cannot be part of the executive and professional membership committee. And I think that's it. Is that correct? Ethics. Yeah. So these two committees, except these two committees, you can be part of any committees, and then we are always looking for people to be part of the process, and you can learn a lot just by being part of the committee, and then how we work together behind the scenes really, and also the board members, we meet once a month for 2 hours after the work time. So it's a bit difficult for New Zealand members, but I guess from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. we have a meeting, and then we are given tasks, and then we work in each committee, and then we come back with suggestions and paper, and in this context, this handbook was also made. Okay. And over to you, Connor.
Yes. Yes, Sandra couldn't be here tonight, so I'm happy to talk a little bit about membership, because I have been on the membership committee for, I don't know, at least 6 years. Been on there for a while. And we do have a student membership level, so you can go directly to that link and join. And that's at a reduced rate, which also gives you a reduced rate at any of our professional development trainings. And it's only for students of DMT training programs. It's not like you can just join as a student because you're studying something else. That's general membership. But so we have the category of general membership, but student membership is very specific to that you are in a training program, and you can join here at that link. And then after graduation is completed, we have 4 levels of professional membership. So the first level is called associate, and that usually means that you have managed to complete your training, but also you have the 40 hours of led experience. So you facilitate, you are responsible for those 40 hours of group process that you've led. It's usually groups. It might have an individual in there. And you've received 10 hours of supervision. And most of the programs are trying to accommodate the provisional professional level, which is 80 hours of leading and 20 hours of supervision. And the 80 hours is very specific to dance movement therapy because we want to ensure that you have those 20 hours of dance therapy, those 80 hours of very specific dance therapy skills. And that's why we also want you to have 20 hours of supervision with a dance movement therapist, because a dance movement therapist will understand what your group is all about and support you in the direction of your own, whatever your developmental needs are within the scope of that particular group or that particular population that you're working with. Full professional requires 250 hours. So, and I believe it's 50 hours of supervision. I always get very confused when the hours were shifted, because we've had some, recent upgrading and that shifting. And then the final layer is the clinical, which is for people who are recognized for their experience and also are deemed able to be supervisors as well. I mean, professional members are still supervisors. However, one day we will have enough members that supervision will be done at that level. And each of the programs has already sent us a map of their requirements, what courses or modules they do offer and how they meet the dance therapy competencies. We came up with this dance therapy competencies, oh man, is it 2017, 18, somewhere around there, which is an incredible document. It really is an incredible document. And that way, right now, the Training and Education Committee is starting to look through those documents to just bring attention to questions where there's lack of clarity or curiosity about how certain aspects are addressed. So at this point, those maps are with the Professional Development Committee so that when you submit your application and you say which program you're from, then that's in there. So it's not like you have to submit the fact that you have completed the program. So you will have documents to submit, 2 supervisory reports, supervision reports. It's not referees. I think there's a confusion that it's referee report. No, it's all about supervisors indicating that you're qualified and ready to move that next step to be a professional. And we suggest between provisional and professional, it takes a few years because it takes a few years to gain that experience. And COVID, of course, we know how difficult obtaining hours during COVID has been. And then also the supervision hours, because we have a ratio of 1 supervision hours to 10 hours of clinical practice. Is that right? My math brain. No, it's 1 to 4. Sorry. I was doing 4 into 40. So we really strongly recommend that you have clinical supervision based on 4 hours of practice. So
Thank you.
I think that's all I really need to say. I think I've gone through every little piece of that. Yep. So we are consistently updating what's on the website to make it easier to streamline it. So we are working on a few tasks right now because it's only been in the last, I don't know if it's been a year or longer that it's been online as opposed to us sending you a document to fill out. So that's a big step for us, and we will continue to make it an easier process. So thank you.
All right. Just briefly, supervision requirements, which Connor has mentioned. recently we have kind of consolidated a little bit more details about like how many, the ratio of hours of placement to clinical supervision hours. And that's that's a very important point that we have to be kind of reminded as practitioner, also as a perhaps newly qualified or as a trainee. So the ratio of hours of placement, which means you are leading sessions, to clinical supervision hours should be or must be approximately a ratio of 4 or 5 hours of practicum to 1 hour of supervision. So that's the kind of important point that we all must remember. And also clinical supervision is a core part of our practice, because we have to be ethically and safely practice. So therefore you need to be held by your supervisor, and then supervision is not place where you report what you have done, but actually you reflect on what you have done and then how you could work better, or how we could work better, and also understand supervisor-supervisor relationship, as well as therapist and clients relationships. So it's very complex of relationships that we are in, and a supervision is the best place where we can kind of really explore. So in this handbook, we kind of really emphasize what supervision actually means, and then that's what we'd like you guys to have a look. Maybe we can skip this one. And postgraduate, we also recommend newly qualified practitioners to have frequent supervision, maybe not as frequently as when you were a student, but perhaps we recommend a ratio of 6 to 1, so 6 hours of practicum to 1 hour of supervision. Oh. Okay, I didn't have the, I just realized, Robin, I didn't have the student membership benefits slide, but would you like to just quickly say about it?
That's okay. Thank you, Mioi. Look, the student membership benefits are open for negotiation. Initially, when we have created a student membership category that's very low cost, and the idea of that is not to be something that's an impediment to joining the DTAA. When you become a member, you get access to the to all of the journals online. So you get access to past, some are peer-reviewed papers and other about news in primarily Australia when you go back to the old ones, and then more recently from New Zealand and other parts of Asia have been featured. So that is available to you as a student member. We have discounts on publications or books that are available. We provide substantial discounts on workshops and events. And I know that somebody said they were too expensive a little while ago, but we balance the fact that we actually pay for professional presenters and acknowledge that that those costs need to be covered, and we don't want to make it difficult for students to afford a workshop if they really want to come. It's also possible to advertise in our e-news. So we have a regular newsletter that goes out, and any member can advertise a workshop or classes or anything they would like to at the foot of that newsletter. In the future, we will probably be organising some supervision workshops, so there's an opportunity to get low-cost regular supervision in addition to the supervision you're already accessing. By being, obviously, the professional membership process is a mentoring process, and the idea of it is not only to assess your readiness for different levels of membership, but also to support people to achieve those levels of membership. So the team, it's about 6 people, I think, are very much supportive and work with you to do that, because it's in all it's in all our interests. We want to grow the profession, and so we want to support people to do that. As well as a member, then you have the opportunity, and we really are opening this up for the first time now, to volunteer to get involved with committees. Now, getting involved with committees might be a project, and it might be an ongoing, like there's a team that looks after some marketing on social media and developing online content. That's new, and we're always open to that. We need to produce a journal, and we're looking for people with writing skills. I've been involved for a long time running the events, which went online, but they used to be in person. And my background was event management and marketing communication. So I sort of brought those skills in. What's beautiful though, if you don't have pre-existing skills, but you'd like to, you'd like to build some skills with some, alongside some people who do have that, it's an opportunity for you to skill yourself up, particularly when we work a lot on our own and maybe running our own businesses. If we don't have business background, it's really great to have a chance to be helping run an event, and then you know how to do that for yourself from start to finish. I think, and the last thing is that as volunteers, and this is something we're also about to introduce, is that there will be some level of remuneration. Now that might be in kind. We have one paid person in this organisation, and the rest is volunteer run. Some of the people here spend an inordinate amount of time organising things and running things, and we need more volunteers so we can do more, for you guys and grow a visibility of our profession and find work really for our members. So the idea is that, you might do something and then you'll get some free professional development points awarded for that. Or you might help out with, this is a good one, which I've done for years, help out with running the events. You get to go to the CPG event for free. So there are sort of ways of, I did that for a long time because I couldn't always afford the events. And we're always looking for people who want to put up their hand for that. So those are just some things. And really today, I imagine that might be some suggestions around, benefits, what students want as benefits from your membership. So I'll hand it back. Thanks.
Thanks, Robin. It was very comprehensive. Great. Okay. So we have well, maybe less than 10 minutes, but I'd like to open the floor and then like to hear from you guys. If you have any questions, opinions that you'd like to share, any burning questions, then this is your time.
Just where do we find the handbook?
So if you're a member,
Yeah.
student member, then you would get a link, or if you have AGM package and it's in there,
So if I'm already a member, I go and find it in the membership.
Should be on the website, and then but it's member only website. Sorry, the site. Or
Yeah.
if you have the AGM package, and then in that you have the link, and then you can just go to the handbook link as well. In the end,
Okay.
it's part of the index.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, sorry, Michelle. Yeah.
This is kind of it's not really half formed. I'll start with saying that I've really appreciated. So I studied with tensegrity, and I started 2.5 years ago now. So it's been a very interesting, changing space. And I've really appreciated the increasing access to, the trainings that have been offered online. I'm living in WA. Sometimes it feels like we dropped off the other end of the world because we seem to be left out. And I know there are a number of other students through Tensegrity anyway who have signed up from WA, but we're still very much a growing community, and being able to access a lot of this training and information online has been incredibly valuable during COVID. One thing I struggle with though is, and it's a little different, so going through university and having placements and having supervisors allocated, that's a very easy way of proceeding from my experience with my occupational therapy training. Now as a sort of an adult learner and needing to find supervisors, I've really appreciated the supervisors that have been available to access, but I have had difficulty. I've really just looked on the DTAA page to see who might be able to provide supervision, and I've reached out. And that has had varying levels of success. I know it's probably quite hard to keep track of who is in a space to supervise from one minute to the next, especially with COVID and lots of things coming up in that space. But I guess I'm just curious about whether or not there might be some ways to support or put forward a little bit more of a presence in terms of who's available for supervision and who could be more easily reached out to for some of that, because it's so valuable. And obviously to get registration, need to be able to access supervisors. So yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I think one plan we have, I don't know if it's really more geared to the students or that post right after you finish, is we were going to bring in some of the clinical members to do their more specialized approach to supervision and offer that at a lower cost, weren't we? I mean, that's a plan for the future. We don't have any dates for that yet. And I don't know how we totally address these issues. Some programs have created their, say, list of supervisors, or they offer it through their program. So different programs do different things in different ways. And I don't know if there's a way that we start to post that on the website somewhere, offer supervision privately or whatever. I mean, that might be a category that comes in play on our website. I'm just throwing out, I don't know yet the total answer to your, suggestion or dilemma. But that's, work in progress for us as well. So we will be certainly looking at issues like that. So I just want to say that it's certainly on the, front burner.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to suggest, ask, or just comment?
Hi,
Tanya? Yeah, Tanya.
I know you guys know that I often have a thought. So currently, I'm Tanya. I'm currently studying through the University of Melbourne, just finishing first year. And my first thought of connecting with supervisors, maybe we need something through DTAA, like a speed dating workshop type style where you meet the supervisors. Because I'm another year out from choosing my supervisor, because we're definitely having this opportunity through Melbourne University where we are set up with someone in small group supervision, which is working really well. But it's like, maybe I find a particular area of interest, but I don't know who else is working in that way. And so it would be really cool to have sort of, one way of meeting people who are willing to be supervisors, and that way they have a way of meeting students that might have, or recent graduates that would have similar ideas or thoughts around what they would like to get out of supervision, based on the style of delivery or based on the population they're working with.
Thank you. That's a valuable suggestion. I think maybe on we have a page where you can find supervisors from DTAA, and then maybe the profile of the supervisor can be more specific, like what area we are working, and what area we can actually currently supervise, and so on. So maybe we can work towards that as well. I think that's really important suggestion. Thanks, Tanya. And
It might actually be good for us to contact a couple of you who've asked the question, say what do you want to know? So then the profiles can be changed so that they include that information.
yeah, okay, that's great.
I would suggest we'd want to know availability, because it sounds pretty heavy loading, 1 per 4 hours. Or 1 per 6 hours of practice. That's meeting once a week or more, right? Yeah. So I mean, are there supervisors that have that type of availability alongside their own practice? It sounds like a challenge with pieces of the puzzle.
That's right. Okay. Thank you. All right, so maybe if it's okay, we can move to part 3, and I am a little bit conscious about our time, just maybe 5 minutes, a little bit behind our schedule. So Connor, hand over to you, and we are going to a little bit move just a few minutes, and thinking about future. So embodying future, we say. So hand over to you, Connor. And
Let
sorry,
me
after
unmute
Connor's leading, we are going into breakout rooms. Robin, you're going to put us in different rooms, is that correct? Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. We are, because the future